Hello everyone, this is His Royal Highness, the Emperor of the Scorpion Empire Galaxy, about to invade the Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy. Would you like to kiss my little scorpion ring? That was nice.
On to me. And Janet Diane Moya Swerdlow for expansions.com.
Earthling.
Well, Stuart is out there in woo-woo land. Anyway, first thing I want to tell you about is there's been a lot of stories going on about Israel. And I have a story about Israel's Western Wall. Apparently, something happened there which claims that prophecy is coming true about the Messiah is on his way.
Hello, I'm over here.
You know, they just announced you were the Scorpion King, so you can't be both. You got to make up your mind.
I have multiple personalities.
Unfortunately, yes. Anyway, apparently there was a snake that was filmed scaring a pigeon while crawling between the stones of the Western Wall in
That's
Israel.
quite talented.
Apparently. And Hebrew bloggers claim that the symbol is an indication of the Messiah is coming. They're taking this very seriously.
Because it's true.
It is true?
Yes, that's why they're moving the embassies to Jerusalem. That's what I've been telling you.
So somebody put a snake in the wall?
No, that's a prophecy event.
Well, it says that the pigeon represents Israel while the snake represents evil, which plagues it. And there are bloggers who claim that the symbol of a pigeon fleeing a snake shows that we are living in dangerous times which directly predate the coming of the Messiah. It said evil inclination personified by the snake in Eden will make a resurgence in the days before the Messiah. And apparently there are several references to the Messiah saving and afflicted or endangered people in the Old Testament, which of course would be the Jewish people. And the Hebrew language website pointed out that in Jewish teachings, Israel is sometimes compared to a pigeon or a dove. And the website says that just as the pigeon is safe so long as it seeks shelter among the stones of the Temple Mount, the Jews are protected by the Torah commandments. And then this follows several other incidents. Apparently, at the Temple Mount, 4 months ago, a large piece of stone fell from the Western Wall, almost crushing a woman who'd gone there to pray.
I heard about that.
And one of the Kabbalists interpreted it as a sign that the third temple should be built because the stone fell the morning after Tisha B'Av, which is a fast to commemorate the destruction of the first two temples. The construction of the third temple is supposed to predict the Messiah's coming. And shortly after this happened, with this woman, a large cloud of dust billowed up from inside the Temple Mount compound and surrounded the Dome of the Rock for several minutes. And one rabbi suggested that the dust revealed a conflict taking place on the spiritual plane.
Well, that's
what do you think about that?
I think he's right.
You think so?
I think there's a spiritual war going on.
Well, I think it's going to be kind of interesting to see what happens, but there's a video of it out there if you want to see the snake in the wall. And then, now this was something I wanted to get your opinion on.
Okay.
There have been a lot of bus accidents with school children, like one after another. Now, sometimes when school first starts here in the U.S., maybe there might be incidences, but there's like a lot. So what do you think's going on with that?
Well, it's not just school buses. I've seen public buses and interstate buses also have issues.
Really? Well, this
and even
one,
buses overseas.
Really? Well, this one, it says, in fact, just this last week, a driver struck 5 children, 2 adults at a Florida bus stop. And apparently they were just standing on the side of the road in a residential area around 8 o'clock when a speeding Ford Escort plowed into them. The car's driver wasn't charged. He didn't seem to be intentional. He wasn't impaired.
He was like 90.
No, he was young. I can't remember how old he was. But anyway, one of the children's in critical condition. But I thought it was odd they didn't charge the driver with like restless endangerment or something. And then before that, a couple days before that, in Indiana, there were 3 siblings, two twins and a sister were struck and killed.
That's
horrible. It's all horrible. And then another student was airlifted. That was 11, and he survived, thank God. But he did suffer multiple broken bones. And then the morning after that, there was a 9-year-old Mississippi boy struck and killed by a pickup truck while crossing a highway to board his bus. And the same Thursday morning that the Florida people were struck, a 7-year-old boy in Pennsylvania was found dead by a hit-and-run incident by the bus driver. So, I mean, like, why in 1 week?
This morning, I saw a video in China of a passenger fighting with a public bus driver, and the bus went off a bridge.
Yeah. And there was one when they said that there was a handicapped person that wouldn't get on.
Well, that was a couple of weeks ago.
No, it was just recently.
Yeah.
I didn't take the article, but there was a handicapped person that wanted to get on, and the people were upset in France, I think. So the bus driver made all of his passengers get off to let the handicapped person on. So
and there was another story of a bus, I forgot where it was, where they were supposed to go for a few-minute ride between 2 points, and the bus driver wouldn't stop for hours and hours, so they had to beg them to please stop and let them off.
Yeah, and there was one where they had a bus that was going through high water, and it's like, why are you taking it? Was showing the bus.
Yeah, so what do buses represent?
Yeah, what do buses represent?
Buses represent programming alter groups that have to travel in a certain way together in order to fulfill a goal or a function. So this may be that programming is being changed, alter groups being destroyed, and that as it transmits out, portrays itself as a physical act of a bus crash.
And what's interesting is school buses in particular are ELF yellow.
In this country.
Yeah, in this country. So anyway, I just thought it's just one after another, which is very unusual. And then, not too long ago, you might have heard, well, I've been talking to you a lot about Kanye West, right? So this kind of precedes that. It gives a little background information. Have you heard about CNN anchor Don Lemon?
Oh, Brainiac, yes.
He said that it was important, and here's the word that I've been telling you about, to stop demonizing. Remember I told you demon is a trigger word trying to bring things in from the astral. New World religion. To stop demonizing individual groups over terrorism concerns, because he said the immediate threat was from white men.
Right. He just told people not to demonize, and then he condemns white men.
Right.
Brilliant. He must go to the same moron school with Anderson Cooper.
He said there's no travel ban on them, meaning white men, but they had a Muslim ban, but there's no white guy ban, so what do we do about that?
How about banning him and throwing him off of the air?
And then he went on to urge people to ignore the news of the migrant caravan slowly moving through Mexico toward the U.S. And then
because he knows it's all full of crap.
And then he went back. And then it said apparently the first part of October, which is now last month, as part of his CNN panel, he ripped into Kanye West for his support of Donald Trump. And he called Kanye West an attention whore.
Look who's
talking. Like the president. And then listen to this. Now, this was really got me. He says he's all of a sudden now the model spokesperson. He's a token Negro of the Trump administration.
This guy said that, who's a black gay guy.
Actually, it was on his panel. The person who said it was CNN contributor Tara Setmeyer. But Lemon laughed as he said that. Negro is like an old-fashioned word. Nobody says that anymore. And then another person on his panel, former Congressman Bakari Sellers, said Kanye West is what happens when Negroes don't read.
They should all be put in prison.
And then Lemon noted how uncomfortable the only white panelist, CNN contributor Scott Jennings, seemed to appear. I was like, yeah, I think...
Well, I hope that, they have no brain. So they all sit there like, okay, white person, you sit here, and all the black people sit here and attack them.
Yeah, well, anyway, so I just think that was just really bizarre. And then what's even more bizarre now, Kanye West has decided that he's distancing himself from politics. He said, my eyes are now wide open. I realize I've been used to spread messages I don't believe in. I'm distancing myself from politics and completely focusing on being creative. Now, he has also said that he is bipolar. He said that himself. But what's interesting, I don't know if you heard about this. Have you heard about Blexit?
Yes.
You know what it is?
That is for black people to remove themselves from the whole situation.
Yeah. They want black independence through economic boycotting, civil disobedience, organized investment into the black economy, and it promotes investing and divesting strategies as a requirement for dismantling symptoms of oppression and empowering black people. We should do the same thing for, like every race then.
Seriously.
It's silly.
And you know what? What I do agree with is that the entertainers should stick to entertaining and get out and stop mentioning things in politics that have nothing to do with them. Because first of all, they're too ignorant and stupid to even know what's going on to make a comment.
Well, they're involved in their entertainment stuff. They're not really involved in politics. But the thing is, apparently there's a woman named Candace Owens, who's also black, who designed the logo for this movement's hats and t-shirts and claimed that West was the one who designed them. Kanye, otherwise known as Ye, that he designed them. He said he had nothing to do with it. So it's
That's all for show.
Yeah, but the point is that they're pulling at him every which way for whatever reason. I don't know, but it's just, again, bottom line is dividing people, which I don't believe in, obviously. And then one more race story I have, which it's just like I said, bizarro again. I told you about what happened with Megyn Kelly when she had her thing about the blackface and all that. So they fired her off the show. Well, one of her biggest critics they hired to take her place.
Yeah,
Al Roker,
another brainiac.
who was a black man
with a pea brain.
Now then he went on to continue this blackface talk.
He is the biggest jackass I've ever seen on television.
He tweeted himself for our Halloween celebration here in the U.S. of photos of himself as Doc in Back to the Future, who's a white character.
And so I'm offended.
Yeah, but now this was interesting. He said you can dress up as someone of another race without being offensive, but you cannot change your skin color. So he could be Doc Brown, wear the outfit and wig, but not change his skin color. So like if you're white, you can be President Obama, just don't color your skin. So I guess he made the rule.
Yeah, because he's so smart.
But then what about, like, you know how they make all these masks for Halloween and political parties? So in other words, if you've got a mask of Trump and you're black, I guess you can't wear it.
He used to be a weatherman.
I know.
And all he did was read a prompter.
But I'm just telling you.
He doesn't know a high pressure system from a rain shower.
Yeah, but see, what's the difference between putting paint on your face or like wearing a mask? So like if I had a mask, if I decided to be Michelle Obama and was black, I can't put it on my face, but I can hold a mask of her, and that's okay.
You couldn't be her because you're not ugly enough, and plus you're a girl.
Anyway, point being is, I just silly. And then I was thinking, because they're making such a big thing about this, then they're talking to like young people who've dressed up as, like say a white person who's dressed up as a black entertainer, and they didn't even know what blackface was and that it was an insult. And then I got to thinking about, we just had Day of the Dead in Mexico, and in Mexico, Day of the Dead, they're Latino people, and they're darker, not all of them, but a lot of them are darker, and they're wearing like white skeletons. So they're going to say now that that's race, prejudice. This is their culture. So there's a lot of culture, there's a lot of things that people don't mean to do anything bad or wrong.
Well, you know what? All skeletons are white, no matter what race you're from.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, it's just weird. They're just making up things that divide and conquer people, which, is bad.
That's the whole part. That's what the Democrats want to do.
No, we don't want to do that. We want to bring people together.
Who supports them.
So let me tell you a way you can bring people together.
How?
You can sign up to go on NASA's plan for a cloud city of airships in the atmosphere of Venus.
What could go wrong?
There you go. Apparently Venus, the upper atmosphere of Venus, is the most Earth-like location in the solar system.
Even more than Earth?
Yes. It's the most Earth-like. So apparently, it's only a 110-day trip to Venus. That's it. And so what they want to do is they want to put these astronauts in these ships and let them float up above in Venus, and then I guess make trips to the surface and back again.
Because?
Well, because that's what they do. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Well, that sounds like it's not a waste of money.
Well, who knows what's on Venus, right?
I do know what's on Venus.
Well, then they got to come to our September summer if they want to find out. But my point being is that, instead of dividing people, let's just kind of get along, right? So, you want to take care of your own mind. Here's some nice healing books for you, or your friends, or your family. Hyperspace Plus, Healing Archetypes and Symbols, Decoding Your Life, which is Universal Law. You also want to remember our White Owl Legends, which is an archetypal story of creation. Fascinating, and I'm going to tell you the history, but it has to do with Native Americans and Stewarts' interpretation of these stories, which are how many years old?
Ooh, 70, 80?
They were written in 47.
So 71.
A lot of old stories. And then new stories, new stories for young people, or if English is your second language, you have a little flow series. Yeah, protection, chakras, and their color, which is why Stuart likes them.
Because it's so pretty.
He likes to look at the
they
pictures.
Call the pretty colors.
Right? So anyway, like we keep telling you, join our website, less than $1 a day, 50 cents a day, or 53 cents a day.
Which is what I earn.
Yeah, if that you are a year-long member, and lots of wonderful testimonials about belonging on our site. So we appreciate all your kind comments, your support, your sharing, and letting people know about Hyperspace Oversoul work, because we get banned a lot, and I think it's because what we're doing is working. So it's up to you to spread the word.
And I get rubber band a lot, if you know what I mean.
So take care until next time.
Bye.
Bye.